the book Beneath a Blue Umbrella, which is a book made up of tons and tons of little poems with lots of rhyming words and fun pictures and cute little stories. And it was written by Jack Perlusky, illustrated by Garth Williams. So our first story is all about the blue umbrella. And it is just a short one-page story and poem, so I'll read that. Beneath a blue umbrella, a melon seller sat, selling yellow melons, succulent and fat. A huge and hungry hippo made the melon seller mad when he swallowed all the melons that the melon seller had. So when we look at this picture, we see that this is all the melons under the blue umbrella that this hippo ate, making this melon seller mad. So, but looking back at our poem, what rhyming words do we have in here? In this first part, I see that we have sat and fat. Both of those words end in at, A-T, and they have the same sound. So by changing the first part of it, they rhyme. Sat, fat. In the second part, we have mad and had. Same thing with the first one. They sound the same at the end with an AD. They just have the first letter changed. So it's mad and had. Also, we have this word succulent in here. What do you think succulent in here? If we go back and look at context clues, we have selling yellow melons, comma, succulent and fat. So succulent and fat are describing the yellow melons that he is selling. So we know that the melons are fat and succulent. So we can use our context clues to see that succulent probably means ripe, maybe juicy, really sweet, and good tasting. So that's what succulent means. We can go to the next story now. And this is, what do you think? You see that picture? There's an old man carrying a polar bear. So we'll see what this poem has to say. Rickety-pickety, Percival Peak rode a white bear from Point Barrow to Eek. He groomed his long beard with an icicle comb, then carried that bear on his shoulders to Nome. All right, so we have some strange words in this poem. We have eek and gnome are pretty odd words, but when we look back at the context clues before it, we can find out that eek and gnome are places, that they're just not normal words. So we have from Point Barrow to Eek. So saying that it's going to Eek is saying that it's going to a place. And same thing with Nome, it's saying on his shoulders to Nome. So Nome is a place. And now we can look at our rhyming words in this one. We have peak and eek. So Percival Peak is probably the peak of a mountain or the peak of a hill. And it's rhyming with eek, which is that place we were talking about. And then down here we have comb and gnome. So the icicle comb he's using to comb his beard rhymes with the place of Nome. So off to our next poem. This one is probably going to be about a bird. In a Mississippi valley on an old mangolial tree sat a mockingbird one morning, singing loud and merrily. Breezes carried off the music so that afternoon by 3, all the children dancing together in the hills of Tennessee. So this is a very happy poem. So here we have, for our rhyming words, we have tree and merrily. Now, what do you think merrily means? Now, the children or the mockingbird that they're talking about is singing loud and merrily. So if he's singing loud, and everyone looks happy, what do you think merrily means? It means to sing with joy and excitement. So merrily is another synonym for happy and fun. So he's singing loud and happily. It's the same thing as singing loud and merrily. Then down here we have the rhyming words three and Tennessee. Now 3 is obviously the number 3, and then Tennessee is the state of Tennessee. Our next poem that we're going to do, it looks like it's a little girl with a butterfly. Polly saw a butterfly that fluttered in the air. It seemed to be enchanted as it fluttered here and there. It fluttered by the hollyhocks, it fluttered by a rose, it fluttered up to Polly's face, and it tickled Polly's nose. So here we have a little more simpler words here, but for our rhyming words, we have air and there. Now, for this, air and there, they end in totally different letters. Air is spelled A-I-R, and there is spelled T-H-E-R-E, but they still rhyme because they both end in the same sound as air, there, like the sound. So as long as they end in the same sound, they rhyme. They don't have to be spelled the same way. And down here we have rose and nose, which they are spelled the same way at the end. So they both end in O-S-E to make the same sound. Here we have, it looks like a farmer with some corn and a scarecrow in the back. Oh, farmer, poor farmer, you're surely forlorn. The crows have flown off with your Iowa corn. They know your old scarecrow is nothing but straw. They feasted and boasted and chorused caw-caw. Now this one, for a rhyming word, they are rhyming straw and caw together. Now caw is the sound that the bird's making. So they are rhyming the sound the bird is making with the word straw. And they are also rhyming corn with forlorn. And we are going to read through one more poem from this book. This one looks like it has to do with little dogs. In downtown Philadelphia, upon a busy street, 3 puppies found a pretzel which looked very good to eat. The first one sniffed it cautiously, the second one took a bite, the third one snatched it in his jaws, and it darted out of sight. So, what were the rhyming words that you found in this poem? I see that we have street and eat, and then we have bite and sight. Now, cautiously. What does the word cautiously mean? In this it says the first one sniffed it cautiously, and then the second one took a bite. Have you ever heard the word cautiously before? It means to do something hesitantly. So they're taking extreme measures to be safe. So I'm going to make sure that this thing is safe before I do anything. So I am being cautious. And that is all we are going to read for now. There's lots more poems, so maybe I will do another reading with this book and we can go over some more later. Thanks for listening, and I hope to read to you soon.